Hello everyone, and welcome back to the English Master channel. I'm Asadullah.
And I'm Sarah. Today we're doing something really important. We're going to help you find out your true English level.
We get this question all the time. Am I a beginner? Intermediate? How can I tell if I'm improving?
And the truth is, many learners guess their level based on how they feel, but feelings can be misleading. Today, we're giving you a clear, practical self-assessment that you can use right now.
We'll explain the CEFR scale. That's the Common European Framework of Reference from A1 to C2. For each level, we'll tell you what you can actually do in real life, what you probably struggle with, how long it usually takes to reach that level if you study consistently, what to focus on to move to the next level.
And at the end, we'll give you a quick self-assessment quiz and a roadmap so you know exactly what to do next.
This is a longer episode, so feel free to pause, take notes, and really reflect.
If you find this helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what level do you think you are right now.
All right, let's start with the basics. The CEFR has 6 levels grouped into 3 big stages.
The first stage is Basic User, A1 and A2, then Independent User, B1 and B2, and finally Proficient User, C1 and C2.
The CEFR describes what you can do in listening, reading, speaking, and writing, but today we'll focus on what matters most for real communication.
Now, a quick note. These levels are not about intelligence or talent. They're about hours of exposure and practice. According to research, to go from A1 to C2, you need about 1,000 to 1,200 hours of focused study and immersion.
That might sound like a lot, but remember, every hour counts, even if it's just 15 minutes a day. Consistency matters more than intensity.
So let's go level by level, and I'll ask you to honestly reflect. Does this sound like me?
A1 is the very beginning. You understand and use very basic phrases. You can introduce yourself and answer simple personal questions.
Let's get specific. At A1, you can understand slow, clear speech about familiar topics like family, home, and daily objects. Read simple words and short sentences like on menus or street signs. Write a simple postcard or fill in a form with your name, address, nationality. Speak in very short memorized phrases. My name is, I am from, I have 2 brothers.
What you struggle with, forming your own sentences. You often rely on memorized phrases. Grammar is very basic. You might mix up he and she or forget the verb in a sentence.
How long to get here? With regular study, about 2 to 3 hours a week, you can reach A1 in about 50 to 100 hours.
If you're A1, your roadmap. Vocabulary. Learn the most common 500 words. Family, food, work, places, daily routines. Grammar. Focus on present simple of to be and other basic verbs. I am, you are, he, she is. Listening. Use slow, clear content designed for beginners, like the English Master Beginner playlist or children's shows like Peppa Pig. Speaking. Practice saying short phrases out loud, even to yourself. Don't worry about mistakes.
And most importantly, celebrate small wins. At A1, every new word is a victory.
A2 is the elementary level. You can handle simple, routine tasks. You understand sentences about familiar topics, personal information, shopping, local geography, employment.
Let's check if you're A2. You can understand short, simple conversations if the speaker speaks slowly and clearly. Read short texts like simple letters, ads, or simple newspaper headlines. Write short notes, messages, or a simple personal letter. For example, Dear Maria, I'm writing to thank you for the gift. Speak in short, connected sentences. You can describe your daily routine, make simple purchases, and ask for directions.
What you struggle with, longer conversations, especially if the other person speaks fast. You still make basic grammar mistakes, like forgetting the past tense or using the wrong preposition.
Time to reach A2, usually about 150 to 200 hours of study after starting from zero, so total around 250 to 300 hours.
If you're A2, your roadmap, vocabulary, expand to about 1,500 words. Focus on common verbs in past and future forms. Grammar, learn simple past and future using will and going to. Practice asking questions. Listening, move to learner podcasts at a slightly faster speed. Try English Master Intermediate or VOA Learning English. Speaking, start telling short stories about your day. Record yourself and listen back.
One common mistake at A2 is translating directly from your native language. For example, instead of saying, I have 25 years, you should say, I am 25 years old. So pay attention to natural English patterns.
B1 is where you become an independent user. You can handle most travel situations, describe experiences, and give opinions.
At B1, you can understand the main points of clear, standard speech on familiar matters, work, school, leisure, even with some background noise. Read simple articles, emails, and reports about familiar topics. Write connected text, a personal email describing an event, or a simple essay with reasons. Speak with enough fluency to have conversations on familiar topics, although you may hesitate and make errors.
What you struggle with. Maintaining long conversations on unfamiliar topics. You might still misuse tenses or struggle with conditionals like if I would have. Your vocabulary is functional but not yet nuanced.
Time to B1. After A2, about 200 to 300 more hours, so total around 400 to 500 hours.
If you're B1, your roadmap. Vocabulary. Aim for 2,500 to 3,000 words. Focus on collocations, words that go together like make a decision, not do a decision, and phrasal verbs.
Grammar. Master past continuous, present perfect, and basic conditionals. Learn to use linking words, however, therefore, although.
Listening. Start listening to native speed podcasts and TV shows with subtitles. Try BBC 6-Minute English or TED Talks.
Speaking. Practice giving short presentations on topics you care about. Join speaking clubs or find a language partner.
Writing. Start a journal where you write 5 to 10 sentences every day. Focus on connecting ideas smoothly.
Key milestone at B1. You can switch between past, present, and future without stopping to think about the grammar. If you can do that, you're on the right track.
B2 is often called the working level. It's the minimum required for many university programs and professional jobs. At B2, you can interact with native speakers without strain.
Let's say if you're B2. You can understand extended speech and lectures even if the structure is not clear. You can follow TV news and most movies without subtitles. Read articles, reports, and contemporary fiction with ease. Write clear, detailed text on a wide range of subjects, an essay, a report, a formal email. Speak with fluency and spontaneity. You can express opinions, debate, and explain complex ideas, though you might still make occasional mistakes.
What you struggle with. Subtle meaning, idioms, and cultural references. You might still be influenced by your native language structure and complex sentences.
Time to B2. From B1, about 200 to 300 more hours. Total around 700 to 800 hours.
If you're B2, your roadmap. Vocabulary. Aim for 5,000 to 6,000 words. Focus on idiomatic expressions, phrasal verbs, and nuanced vocabulary, synonyms, formality levels. Grammar. Master all tenses, conditionals, passive voice, and reported speech. Start using more complex structures like inversion and cleft sentences. Listening. Watch full movies, TV series, and listen to podcasts in different accents, British, American, Australian. Practice shadowing to improve intonation. Speaking. Engage in debates, give structured opinions, and practice summarizing long articles or lectures. Writing. Write essays with clear thesis statements, arguments, and conclusions. Get feedback from a teacher or advanced peer.
The B2 plateau is real. Many learners feel stuck here because progress becomes less obvious. The key is to focus on quality, use more precise vocabulary, reduce small errors, and work on your accent and intonation.
C1 is the advanced level. You can use English flexibly and effectively for social, academic, and professional purposes.
At C1, you can understand a wide range of demanding longer texts and recognize implicit meaning. Read sophisticated articles, technical reports, and literary works. Write well-structured, detailed texts on complex subjects with good control of style and register. Speak fluently and spontaneously without obvious searching for expressions. You can use language flexibly for social, academic, and professional contexts.
What you struggle with: very subtle nuances, idioms that are region-specific, and perhaps certain pronunciation features that still mark you as a non-native.
Time to C1. From B2, about 300 to 400 more hours. Total, around 1,100 to 1,200 hours.
If you're C1, your roadmap: vocabulary. Expand to 8,000 to 10,000 words. Focus on specialized vocabulary in your field: business, law, medicine, and advanced idioms. Grammar. Refine complex structures, advanced conditionals, subjunctive, ellipsis, and subtle shifts in modality, might have been versus could have been. Listening. Listen to academic lectures, political debates, and fast-paced talk shows. Work on understanding regional accents. Speaking. Give presentations, participate in meetings, and discuss abstract topics with precision. Record yourself to catch minor errors. Writing. Write formal reports, research papers, and creative pieces. Pay close attention to style, tone, and cohesion.
At C1, you're not just learning English, you're using it as a tool. Focus on areas you actually need in your life: professional communication, academic writing, or cultural fluency.
C2 is the highest level. It means you can understand virtually everything you hear or read, and you can express yourself with precision and nuance.
At C2, you can understand any kind of spoken language, even at fast speed or with heavy accent, provided you have time to get familiar with the accent. Read complex texts like legal documents, literary classics, and academic papers with ease. Write clear, smooth, well-structured texts with sophisticated style and appropriate register. Speak spontaneously, very fluently, and precisely. You can differentiate finer shades of meaning and handle complex arguments.
What you might still work on is staying current with slang, cultural references, and perhaps reducing the last traces of a foreign accent.
Time to C2? From C1, about 300 to 400 more hours. Total, around 1,500 hours or more. But many learners don't need C2 unless they want to work in very high-level professional or academic settings.
If you're at C2, your goal isn't a new level. It's maintaining and deepening. You might specialize in a particular field: medical English, legal English, or work on writing and public speaking skills.
And remember, even native speakers make mistakes and have gaps. C2 is about confident, effortless use in almost any situation.
Now let's do a quick self-assessment. I'll read statements and you think honestly, can I do this easily without much effort?
Take a moment for each one. You can write down your answers.
I can introduce myself and use simple phrases like "my name is" and "I live in." That's A1. I can describe my daily routine in simple sentences. I wake up at 7, then I have breakfast. A2. I can talk about past events and future plans even if I make mistakes. I can give my opinion on familiar topics. B1. I can have a conversation with a native speaker without stopping often. I can understand most TV shows with subtitles. B2. I can understand most movies without subtitles, read news articles easily, and express complex opinions fluently. C1. I can read academic texts, write detailed reports, and use English effortlessly in any situation. C2.
Be honest. Your level is usually where you feel comfortable, not where you just survive. If you can do most of the statements up to B2, you're likely around B2.
This is not a formal test, it's just a mirror. Use it to see where you are and what you need to work on.
Let's review some key words we used today. These will help you talk about your learning journey.
CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference, the international standard for describing language ability.
Basic user, A1 and A2. You can communicate in simple, routine situations.
Independent user, B1 and B2. You can handle most everyday situations and express opinions.
Proficient user, C1 and C2. You can use English flexibly and effectively for professional or academic purposes.
Fluency, the ability to speak smoothly without unnatural pauses or struggling for words.
Plateau, a period where progress seems to stop, very common at B2. To break it, you need to change your study methods.
Roadmap, a clear plan to reach your goal.
Try using these words when you talk about your own learning.
So now you have a clearer picture of where you are and what to focus on.
Remember, levels are just guidelines. The real magic happens when you practice consistently, stay curious, and enjoy the journey.
If you want a more detailed roadmap with resources for your specific level, let us know in the comments. We'll create a follow-up video.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who's also learning English.
Thank you for being with us today. Keep going, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.